Hey everybody, welcome back to Day 2, Breakfast with Bob from Day Tough Challenge Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by HOKA Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Outrigger Kona Resort and Spa. Stay longer, save more. And our Challenge Athletes Foundation, our next guest from Australia, Grace Thek, joins us. How you doing, Grace?
I'm doing great, thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.
It's always such a treat, and I love you're like doing the whole T100 series. It looks like you're 13th in Vancouver, 12th at San Francisco, 7th at Singapore, 3rd, 70.3 Geelong. This has been a good year for you.
Yeah, it has been, and I'm even more excited for Roth this coming weekend. I think it's been a good start, and I've been really focusing on that full distance training, so I'm hoping that it pays off for this weekend.
So how many fulls have you done?
This is my first.
I was going to say, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of 70.3 and challenge, and I'm like, wow. Now, what made you decide to make this your first? Because it's such a classic event.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore this one. Belinda Granger, I guess, has been a big fan of this race for many years, and as an Aussie, she's always like, oh, when are you going to step up to the full? And yeah, finally the time has arrived, and I decided there's no better place to start my debut than here in Roth.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, it's interesting when you look at 13th, 12th, 7th, people don't quite understand that those are world championship fields. I mean, you look around and there's Olympic medalists and all these people coming from the ITU world and Olympic world. So you have to look at those events and not get bummed when you look at your place, because you know how hard you're going.
Exactly. I think last year I got caught up as a wild card, feeling a little disheartened at times.
Yes.
But you kind of have to put it into perspective. You are racing the best in the world, and it's a privilege, and I think I thrive off racing the best in the world and putting myself in a position where it is hard. And yeah, I guess position-wise it maybe doesn't look so flash on paper, but I think given my focus on Challenge Roth and the build to that, I'm quietly confident.
Well, because speed. At the end of the day, it used to be there was a huge difference between the ITU athletes in terms of the speeds they were going and the longer distance. Now everybody goes fast.
Yeah,
right?
everyone's fast.
Everybody's fast.
Especially the swim. It's just getting faster and faster.
Well, and do you think it changes a lot, the fact that it's a non-wetsuit swim?
For this week, maybe to my advantage. I like to think of myself as maybe a stronger long course swimmer. Not that I've done a long course race,
right.
But yeah, I actually usually perform pretty well without a wetsuit, so I'm happy for it to be a swim for me.
Nice. And then from the hardest part about long is, 1, the training, 2, the recovery, 3, the nutrition. Because it's like you go from ITU racing where maybe I'll take a gel to I got to plan how many calories an hour and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Has that been fun for you, or is it like, oh my God, what a pain?
It's a lot of maths.
Yeah, you're not supposed. As an athlete, you're not supposed to have to do math.
No, I think prior to this race, I really had to focus and dial in my nutrition during the training. I think previous years I haven't really focused on nutrition and training, and I've noticed that was the key to surviving some of my sessions in the lead up to this race. And obviously on race day, the key things are nutrition and pacing. Obviously I can't treat it like a T100 race and go all out from the start. I need to conserve some energy and pace myself wisely. So yeah, that and nutrition I think are going to be the key, and if I can get them in check, I think I'll have a good day. So
what got you into the sport to begin with?
I was actually a college runner turned triathlete. The tale of oldest time, where a runner gets injured.
Lots injured, starts riding a bike and swimming.
Yeah,
for
cross training.
Yeah,
for the mental sanity. And then I decided I still wanted to run. I just didn't think that I would be able to cope with the load required to, race and run professionally, or at least at a high level. And so I entered into the sport of triathlon. I come from a bit of a swimming background, having started squad training at the age of 6.
Okay.
So I did have that in my back pocket, I guess, and I did dabble a little when I was 15 in triathlons, but I had so many running goals that I wanted to achieve, so I kind of moved to running, and I'm very happy to have found triathlon again a little bit later. I think back in 2015 is when I first did my triathlon, and then 2018 when I went pro.
You went pro in 18, and right away, you're winning 70.3 Japan, you're winning Geelong, you're getting second at Shepparton, third at Western Sydney. So you had some success right away.
Yeah, it was a good start. I'm not sure a lot of people probably remember that first race I did. It came down to a bit of a sprint finish. I ended up collapsing on the red carpet and getting overtaken in the last 1 meter of the race to come second. But from the very start, it was a bit of a whirlwind of a journey. And obviously, the first year was more a focus of racing in Asia and Australia. And then the last few years, I've kind of committed to going full-time into triathlon and being able to chase the summers and travel around the world.
Well, and during COVID time, you guys couldn't get out and race any, so you had to race each other.
Yeah.
And then you come out of that, and it's like, okay, we got to go race the rest of the world. And people, when we look at the amount, how fast people are going now, I think a lot of that's attributed to COVID time when people weren't traveling, and you could just pile workouts on top of each other and rest, recover, train. That was it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people just got faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, and I think for me, I was working as a physiotherapist prior to COVID and throughout the COVID year, and it was kind of that point where I decided to go all in with triathlon once we had the opportunity to travel again and race. So I think for me, it was a good stepping stone to going all in with the triathlon.
I love that. What do you look at as your best race?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I think that my favorite race of all time is probably the Geelong 70.3 race, purely because it's a local race for me, a home race. I have family and friends there. I've raced it 8 times in a row. I've been on the podium 8 times, and probably my favorite was when I won it in 2023. So that's probably the most.
How many times have you won that?
Just once. Yeah, I've been second and third at 7 other times. But yeah, I think it was 2023 that I took the win there. So
yes, you did.
That was very special for me, purely because I had my family and friends there, and it it's just an hour drive from my home.
How much time have you spent on this course?
I arrived on Friday. And
wow! Okay.
Yes, I've been here a little while. I did a lap of about 1.5 laps of the bike course, and did a little bit of the run along the canal, and then the out and back section to
make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a beautiful course. The road surfaces are much better than LA, where I've been training.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to get out there and give it my all, and obviously use the crowd support and the atmosphere to get me home for my first full distance.
So when you go into your first full distance, in the back of your head, you got to be thinking, okay, don't go too hard. It's a long day. It's a long day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you sort of have to go for it.
Yeah, I think my motto sitting down with my coach yesterday was kind of you versus you, or like me versus me, because at the end of the day, I can't really worry too much about what other people are doing around me. I have to race my own race, because my focus is to make it to the finishing line.
Right.
And a lot of it's unknown territory, how I'm going to go. I haven't run more than 35K before, so those last 7K going to be interesting, I think. I know I'm going to go through some hard patches, so I think it's less about other people, but I'm sure that my competitive nature will kick in at some point.
There's no question.
We'll hopefully have a good day.
When you were a high-level runner, was it stress fractures?
Yeah, I had about, too many to count, about 8 stress injuries over 4 years. I went to college in America.
Where'd you go?
I went to Providence College in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
We won the NCAA National Championship in 2013, which was one of the most memorable moments of my life. And yeah, unfortunately, I was just plagued with injury. There was higher mileage. I was running a lot on pavement, less on trails and grassy areas. So since since coming back into triathlon, it's been not without injuries, but
not stress fractures.
No stressy. So
that what's fascinating to me is, so here you're running, and I'm sure you're doing volume, you're doing obviously a lot of speed, but 2024 you did a lot of races.
12 races I started.
So but they're all half marathons, right? You ran 12 half marathons. Can you even imagine when you were back in college, somebody saying you're going to go run 12 half, and you're staying healthy?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have believed them, to be honest.
So it's the cycling and the swimming, and less. You're probably running less now, but you're running better with less mileage. With Gwen back in the day, when she got into triathlon, all of a sudden she was running faster with less.
Yeah,
And are you finding the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. I think the swim and the bike fitness really carry over to the run.
Yes.
I think the key with running, and what I've learned probably in the last 18 months, is consistency is key. I know it's a common phrase to throw around, but it really is. I haven't worried too much about intensity. In fact, this year I think I've done maybe 2 sessions for the whole year. The rest has just been easy running, and I think for me that's the key to staying healthy. I think in the past doing obviously load, but also a lot of workouts have led to injuries. So I think for me it's just consistency, and I'm sure my 18-year-old self would look at this and think I'm crazy.
Absolutely.
I guess 12 half marathons last year ain't bad.
12, I mean, if you went to any pro runner and said you need to run 12 half marathons, they'd go, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
There is no way you can do that. I mean, if you were to call your coach up from back then and go, listen, you probably should get some bike trainers out on the track and get a pool, and you guys will run better by running less. Yeah,
in fact, I think that was one of the takeaways that my coach had while I was there at Providence College, in that I was injured so much, and he was always surprised at how quickly I got back into training after injury, because I had really focused on pool running and gym and swim and bike, and I was probably doing more exercise when I was injured than when I was not injured. And I think he used to think, I guess maybe he had the mentality at times where it's, why are you doing that? Just go out and run an extra 3 miles. But I think, this kind of showed him that it's important for
run
some
less,
athletes,
run forever.
Exactly.
So all the athletes are different, and if you understand that balance really makes you a better runner.
For sure.
And you can do high intensity in training indoors on the bike, right? You can do high intensity in the pool, and that transfers over to what you're doing running.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Grace, I'm glad you're healthy.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you do on Sunday. It's going to be so fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, because you're going to be out there on a bike going, this is the furthest I've ever ridden. And this is the furthest I've ever run.
Yeah.
You never run. Have you run a marathon?
No, I did a long run a few weeks back, and it was 35 kilometers. So this will be, a record for me.
You're going into the unknown.
It's going to be a PB regardless.
I love it. Grace, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Grace Thek has been our guest again. Everybody, Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth. Hold on, we'll be right back.